Hi there and welcome to GameChanger. Yes, this is the show where I take your save and I put myself in the chair and I try and tweak things. Yes, these saves come from members of my Discord group. They send me saves with lots of information. We have a Dropbox link. I provide a Dropbox link for all of them, and they can send the tactics up. And we get all kinds of saves. We've had saves from people who are in a relegation dogfight. We've had saves from people who are having an issue with how they train their players. We have saves from people. I've had a youth development save as well. So we've got lots of different saves, and it's unique. I mean, every single game is unique, and it's a lot of fun. So on today's show, we've got Axelrod. He's the manager of RBL, Red Bull Leipzig, in Germany, and he's got a save and he wants me to take a look at it. He did okay. His squad did all right last season, but however, he wants to try and finish this season off with a bang. He's got a few more weeks left. He wants to get things underway for FM18. So let's find out what he's been doing. So basically, last season, he didn't do too badly. It was touch and go for them. They did all right, I guess. They finished fifth in the German league, but lost to Olympic Lyon in the final. Played a formation. He played this formation. Now, when I look at this formation, I immediately get a bit worried. Why? It doesn't control half spaces very well. I'll explain why very, very soon. You're playing against a tactic that plays into the half spaces. Now, even though you have two inside, I mean, the attack looks the same, but it's what your midfield is doing that's the difference. So we'll be taking a look at that very, very soon. Then we've got training. Okay, cool. I like this. He's handed the training off to his ass man. If it works, it works. I mean, you can do this. It does work. And there's nothing that says this is wrong in the game. I know a lot of people do this, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, let my ass man do all the work. Yeah, cool. If he knows what he's doing, fine. If you're not into training, fine. Yeah. Okay, what about his squad? Now, whenever I go into any kind of save, I will do an analysis of my team. I got 4 or 5 questions that I focus on. I look at the defensive aspects of my team, then I look at the offensive aspects of my team. The most important thing here is to understand what my defense can and what basically I need to know what my defense can do. If my defense is solid, like rock solid, like they can be 4 of them can be left on their own and they know what to do, then it gives me an option moving forward. So what I do in all my games is very simple. I just focus on the defensive aspect of my tactics. And once I know my tactics are solid defensively, then I start tweaking the offensive aspects of my tactic. Then usually I do well. In fact, I have an adage when I'm doing lower league management. If you can't win, make sure you draw. Because you have to go into every single game with the attitude that you don't want to lose those games. And when you start thinking like that and you start going out not wanting to lose, chances are you get a lot more draws because you're setting yourself up defensively. We're not talking about mentality. We're talking about how you control space on the pitch. Okay, so here we have a few tactics that he submitted. He's got a 4-3-3 wide, 2 versions of the 4-3-3 and one 4-3-1-2. Now there's a common theme in all your tactics. When I looked at this 4-3-3, I noticed one thing, and anybody watching the show will notice one thing. You've got a whole bunch of guys, they're running off. It's a counter attack. I can see what you're doing. You're trying to make sure that you have possession, and when you have possession of the ball, you want to just kick that out, and you're hoping that the 3 guys up front can break away and score something. Fine, but it's one-dimensional. It is very one-dimensional because you're not going to be able to break sides down. You're going to have this challenge, and this is a common challenge in the 4-5-1. Whenever you play a lone striker system, you're going to get games where you dominate, but you're not going to get a lot of games where you move a team around unless you do something with your roles and duties, unless you get put yourself in a position where while you're camping in the opponent's half, you can move them around. Now, here, this tactic, you don't have that. You only have a situation where when you get the ball, you're going to move it through the transitions, and then you're going to depend on 3 fellas to break defensive lines. You got 2 inside forwards, so cutting inside. You go 1 advanced forward looking to break the offside trap. And then you've got 2 playmakers in midfield trying to string passes to them. So essentially what you have is a tactic where you're just hoping that you break into space. What happens when you meet a defensive team? Defensive teams are not going to give you that space. So your exploit shots are not really going to work. Your work ball into box and your exploit shots will just they may even cross each other out, because once you find the guy in space, he's gonna hold up the ball and go, okay, fine, let me not cross the ball, let me just work the ball into the box. Boom. By then you might have an issue, because as your wingbacks come up to support your players, that's that's it for your system. So when I looked through your matches, I noticed that you had this problem in some of your games. Against Hertha Berlin, you conceded a few goals because there was not enough work being done in midfield, and it was far too easy for the opposition to work themselves into a goal-scoring opportunity. And then in the match against Bayern Munich, you lost 6-1 because you used the wrong formation against a team that's it's going out to exploit the flanks. And it's not surprising to see that Bayern Munich largely dominated possession in this game, and they were able to stretch you and get themselves into goal scoring opportunities. Now, when you're using a 4-3-1-2, you got the one golden rule about a 4-3-1-2 is you don't use it if your players aren't better than the other team. It's a very simple golden rule. First up, when you're using the 4-3-1-2, you got to accept certain things. One, the flanks are going to go. So if your defenders aren't very good, you don't want to use a 4-3-1-2. Okay. The thing about the 4-3-1-2 is largely due to the fact that you don't have a defensive midfielder. You're depending on the three midfielders to do their job. And sometimes what you want to do with a 4-3-1-2, if you still insist on using a 4-3-1-2, and I have used a 4-3-1-2 with weak sides, is you got to make sure that those boys in the center of the park, the three midfielders, are aggressive enough, they have good positional sense, and you don't overcommit your fullbacks early. So these are things that you want to do, because the moment you commit your fullbacks into tackles early, if they're too high up the pitch, if you've set their closing down instructions aggressively, then what's going to happen is your flanks become just a gateway to the AI to go and score goals. So what do? Do you still use the 4-3-1-2? If you want to use the 4-3-1-2, then it becomes a very defensive tactic. Then you've got three central midfielders. You got one staying deep, like the number 13 here. He should be staying deep at all times. You got two, like maybe even ball-winning midfielders in support. Then you've got fullbacks in support. All you're doing is you're just trying to win the ball in midfield and defense, and hurling the ball over the top to the three strikers that you have. And you're going to be playing a very structured game. You're going to be playing with pass into space, and you're probably going to try and exploit the middle. What we want to do next is to find out what our players can and can't do. So the first thing I will do is I'll go to my squad, knowing that we are not the best team in the league. The first thing I'll check is whether my defenders have got a good positioning. It's the first attribute you check. You don't check anything else. You go positioning first. Okay. Then after positioning, you check concentration. Then you check the final one is, then you start looking at the physicals like acceleration, and then you look at jumping reach and heading. So here we have our defenders. Positioning, fantastic. Concentration, whoops, 11 and 12. Okay, we have a problem here, Houston. They're not that good. Okay, your defenders, they don't concentrate very well. 11 and 12 for a top flight league is like, you've got players who are of the mental caliber of championship players in England playing in top flight football. That's what you have. Because that's how mentally strong they are. Because concentration is about mental strength, about knowing you're paying attention in the game. So if your players get caught out of position, but if they have low concentration, it's worse. They may have good positional awareness, but what's the point if they don't have concentration? If a team could be in a very quick transition. They have to get back into position very quickly, but they have to be paying attention first to be aware of changes in the game. So concentration is actually for me, central defenders, concentration is like up there, primo note, the number one of the top attributes in the game. So now we got positioning, concentration, we got anticipation, which is all right. Then I will look at acceleration, 15 and 15. Okay, fine. Some of your central defenders, they may not have good concentration, but they're very good at chasing. So then what will happen is, oh shit, I missed it. Okay, then he starts running towards it. So there we have that. Technical skills like marking and tackling, I usually check last. So they're okay, they're good. Because you want to know, you don't want to start with marking and tackling first, right? Because that's the technical skills. But what's the point of checking, marking, and tackling. If he doesn't know how to get to the position. B, he's not aware of the things that are happening on the pitch. So those mental attributes are far more important. I swear by mental attributes. I mean, I have been playing this game for so long. I will tell you straight out of the gate. FM13, FM12, FM11, FM9, physical attributes, that's all that mattered in the game. FM15, to a certain extent, physical attributes are still good. But I used to complain. I mean, this game is far too easy if I'm just going to use physical attributes like acceleration to get away. They started balancing the attributes a bit more effectively. Now mental attributes, they're beginning to step up, and that's really good, because mental attributes should be the number one attribute first. So here, your defender's mental attributes, they're good, not great, but the areas that are not great are very concerning. It's concentration. So mentally, we know they're not that fantastic. Okay, so I'm now going to look at your fullbacks. Your fullbacks are the same issue, right? So they're all in the same group. Positioning, okay. Anticipation, okay. Concentration, 13, 11, 12, 13, okay. Here we got one solid defender. Where did he show up from? Luis Munoz, 21 years old. Jumping reach 12. It's okay. If I were you, I start playing this guy quite often, because he's got a lot of potential moving forward, right? So I would play him with the aim of, maybe I'm hoping that in the future because look at him, he's got a potential star rating of almost 4 stars, but he's got half a black star in 5. So he can be as good as 4.5, which is pretty good. It's probably his potential ability is quite high. Then we've got tackling for the flank players. Okay, you've got tackling 14, acceleration 14 and 15. Okay, your boys on the flanks, they're average. They're not fantastic. I love to find wingers and I retrain them as wingbacks. Why? I go and get myself solid, strong central midfielders and I launch my wingbacks forward. So your wingbacks aren't that bad. Now let's look at their mentals. I'm looking for things like passing. I'm looking for things like decisions. I'm looking for things like crossing and dribbling. Why? Because then I know that my fullbacks, I have more options with them. Because if you're just looking at the technicals, whether they can do a good job as a fullback, that's all that you have. But what about other things? Can I play them as an inverted wingback? Can I play them as a complete wingback? Are they like intelligent fullbacks who get up the pitch like Philip Lahm? They are able to do something with the ball. They bring the ball up, are intelligent with their choices when it comes to ball distribution. So here we got Lucas Klosterman. Okay, he's very fast. I mean, there's no point having. Pace 18, big deal. I'm more interested in acceleration. Pace 18 means he gets away, then he goes off like a choo-choo train after that. So that's good. Okay, crossing 11, not too bad. Decision making is 11. Okay, he's young player. All right, we can do things with him. Then we've got another fullback, wingback. We got Marcel Hasselberg. Okay, the first thing I check is his mentals. All right, his positioning can he get away? No, forget it. Okay, Dominic Frank, positioning 12. Okay, that's not too bad. He's not too bad. He can be used. He's actually quite good. However, he doesn't have off the ball, so I'll probably not play him in an attacking position. I'll probably only play him as a fullback on support or a fullback on defend duty. Why? I would like if I wanted to play with an attacking fullback, I still want some off the ball. The reason we want off the ball is that he can drift around looking for space. Okay, so we've seen some of your fullbacks. Milton Valenzuela. Okay, Milton Valenzuela. So now we know why your left flank is such a it's been giving up a few goals. When I went through your highlights, I saw the AI come through your left flank quite a lot. So now we know why. Milton Valenzuela when we use him, we don't want him to be doing anything else but attack, because he's like your Alberto Moreno. Okay, at least Moreno, he makes a few challenges, right? But this dude, he is a bit iffy when it comes to making the challenge. He's got low aggression, and coupled with that, he's also got below average bravery. So first up, he's not a fighter. He's like, yo, dude, I'm chilling. The ball, give me the ball. Yeah, I'm gonna go up the pitch. We need to make a challenge. He's gonna be like chilling. I don't see him as a challenging player. He does not challenge players. What am I saying? Challenging player. Okay, he won't be challenging. So he cannot be depended on when it comes to tackling. So this dude, you got to be very careful with him. If you have him in any of your games and you have him as a starter, he might get you goals because he can definitely deliver them. All right, he's got decent passing. He's 9 for passing. He's got good decision making. He can get up the pitch. He's got acceleration. Gets away from players. All right. When the going gets tough, yeah, maybe he can tackle, but first we have to know whether he wants to tackle or not. All right. He's not that fantastic. There is potential in him, but we're gonna have to work on getting players around him who can do the job a bit more effectively. Okay, so if I were you, if I use him, the flank beside him, they're gonna be strong players around him. So Milton Valenzuela, you gotta be very careful with this player. He's wanted. I would sell him for as much money as I can possibly get for him. Okay, so that's what I would do. I'd go like, okay, dude, you're out of here. Okay, so we know he's not that fantastic. So when I look at your players, that's the impression that I get. Now, if you chosen in your tactics this player, so I'm looking at a tactic here. So you got this 4-3-1-2 you've set up. Now, we've gone through your backline. We know what your backline is like. We know how they play, what their strengths are. What about the 3 men in midfield? I'm going to quick pick, ask the S-man who he should be picking. So we're going to use that as a guide. All right, the S-man has gone to your central midfielders, and we've got a few central midfielders here. We've got Kai Havertz. What's the first thing you check when it comes to the central midfielders? They're all going to support duties. My opinion is they're all going to have to tackle. They're all going to have to win the ball. And they're going to have to distribute. So the first thing we do, positioning. Second thing is off the ball. Positioning for your players, 9. Kai Havertz, that's it. You can't defend. Okay, another player, we got Gustavo, positioning 14, off the ball 9. Okay, you can defend, but you can't attack. Naby Keita, your position is 12, you're off the ball 17. Okay, you can defend, but you're definitely you good going forward. Okay, let me look through all the other players. We got Gianni Imbula, positioning 12, average, off the ball. Okay, fine. You're all right. Okay, you're playing. Okay, because considering all the other players that we have, positioning 11, off the ball 12. See what I'm doing here? What I'm doing here is I'm looking for my central defenders with just looking at 2 attributes: positioning and off the ball. Positioning tells me whether they are mentally good enough to do the job from a defensive point of view. Off the ball tells me whether they're good to do the job in an offensive point of view. I'm looking for players who can do both. So when I go through your list, there are quite a number of players that I rule out immediately. So I've gone through your list and I found Donny van de Beek, Gianelli Imbula. All right, let me go to Christian Lombardo. Okay, Danilo. This is nice. Where do you get this guy from? Wow. Holy crap, this guy is good. Holy cow. This Danilo, BPR, what the heck does that mean? Players... reacted to his collective win bonus. I forgot all about that. Okay, Danilo. Build the tactic around Danilo, please. He is good. Okay, Danilo is the great Brazilian. All right, so we got the great Brazilian who's going to decide, who has to play. All right, the great Brazilian has to play, along with Naby Keita has to play. So we got Naby Keita, the great Brazilian. You got your 3 midfielders. Okay, and so we've got the 3 midfielders. We know what to do. So, what are we going to do next? So we got Naby Keita, who's very dangerous, going up, and he's solid defensively. That's not too bad. Attacking playmaker on support, yeah, that could work. But here we have a 3-prong attack. So we're going to work on this tactic. I'm going to change this tactic slightly. Okay, I'm definitely throwing away this tactic. Okay, this tactic, you take a bin, you take this tactic, you put it in the bin, and you close the lid. Don't ever look at this tactic again. There's a very, very strong reason why you don't want to look at this tactic. This tactic won't do anything for you. First up, you're going to have these 2 guys trying to win the ball. But they're going to always be deep. They'll drop deep. They'll never move. They'll be anchoring your defense, and you don't have anything else creatively near them except for this player, Gustavo, whose job is to dribble a lot. He's going to have the ball in his goal. Yeah, I've got the ball. Let me see what I can do with it. So you've got this guy in the center of the pitch who only has 12 for first touch. 10 for dribbling. But he's in a role where he's going to be dribbling a lot. Then we look at his player traits. Play short, simple passes. Thank God for that. Marks opponent tightly. Plays no through balls. No through balls. And you got him as a playmaker. Remember one thing in this game. Player traits will override play instructions. So if he's got a player trait that says play no through balls, why are you getting him to be a playmaker? Because this playmaker, he's got more risky passes locked in. You expecting him to make those kind of passes, but Luis Gustavo is the kind of chap that you paid money for him, and he's like, I ain't doing no through pass, man. I just want to give it to somebody else, and he's giving it to Keita and Havertz. So you're gonna have those issues with those players, and they got few risky passes loaded. So everything is gonna be very simple. So the way you're gonna move the ball, it's very one-dimensional. So the moment the ball gets to Gustavo, you pray to God that these two players are not too far away for them to get the ball. So that's one of the reasons why I said take this tactic and put it in a bin, close the lid. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna create a tactic that you can use against top sides like Bayern Munich, the rest of the league. A relatively defensive tactic that allows you to counter with a lot of options, and then against some of the other sides, we're going to create a tactic which has a bit more going in terms of options. Red Bull have already played the match against Bremen and Rapid Wien. We're going to go through the tactic very quickly. We won both the matches. At the back, we have a keeper that distributes to centre backs and takes short kicks. We have a wing back. We know that this wing back is going to be attacking, and that's all we want him to do. So he's got few risky passes on attack duty. We've got a stopper and a cover combination for defense with a fullback on support who's been told to dribble less, take few risky passes. Now, what we're trying to achieve with this 4-3-4-5-1 rather is control of the half spaces. The half space on the left, we're going to use an inside forward to do that. We got a ball-winning midfielder on support, so he's going to help Forsberg try and win the ball here. And so our ball-winning midfielder on support has got shoot less often and few risky passes. Now, this can be removed in the case of Keita. Why? Because Keita has actually got very good passing on him. And then we've got a defend duty here in midfield. And we've got Imbula on the right. He's a CM on support, but I need him to play like Mzala. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to tell him to close down more, get further forward, more direct passes, more risky, and move into channel. So he's going to try and control the half space in this area. So when he's controlling the half space in this area, it will give us control of two half spaces. We're going to have two players working the half spaces. We've got Forsberg here working the half space with Keita. We've got Imbula working the half space with Leven or Tunali. And Klosterman is going to try and give them some protection on the right flank. Up top, we have Werner. Now, the interesting thing about this tactic is I do not want these two guys to be closing down too much. I want them actually to close down much less. This will give me an outlet when I want to do a quick transition. Because the moment you tell players to close down much more, sometimes you have them all over the pitch. Now, we already have 3 players in midfield, and we have a right flank that has a fullback on support, so I don't see the need of doing close down much more on the right flank with these two boys. So what I only have is Forsberg closing down much more, sitting narrow and shooting less often. On the right flank, he's closing down much less, and Werner is closing down much less. In terms of our team instructions, we can start our games on these team instructions: control structure fairly wide, normal defensive line, offside trap, prevent short goalkeeper distribution of ball into box. However, there are times when I might go exploit the left flank as well and remove a ball into box, because I do not want them to tick-tock the passing. I may just need them to cross the ball. Alternatively, we can even go slightly higher with the ball into box, making sure that we emphasize the left flank, and then when we get there, we tick-tock the ball and try and open them up. So we've got lots of options with this tactic, and that's how I like to play the system. The 4-1-3-2 that I've also created for you now, well, this is a slightly different system. This system relies on, for both tactics, we have the option of attacking and we have the option of closing down. So for both tactics, the options are pretty simple. One, with the 4-3-2, we might convert the wingback on attack to wingback on support, and then we will not use any exploit shots. Instead, we use the work ball into box shot, but we will not use play out of defense, because I do not want to put pressure on my backline. I just want the ball to be brought to the attack rather quickly. However, with that, we can get some defensive discipline in that tactic. Now, with a 4-1-3-2, we have a different approach. Here, we're going to use 2 strikers. We're going to use 2 strikers to attack defensive lines, but we're going to use this player here these two players have got 1-2 passing as a player trait, and we've got this player who loves to run with the ball in the center. This gives us a lot of options. He's going to be able to control the half space here. This guy is going to control the spaces here. We cannot control one side of the half space, we know that for sure. But this is not a control tactic in the sense that we want to get lots of possession. What we want is the ability to hit on the counter. We got a wing back on attack bombing down this way, so he's gonna try and get Werner away when he gets a chance to, and we got a DLF on attack. We don't want to play a DLF on support, largely because we have an issue with the number of players that you have who can play that role. The only player who can is injured, so we're still going to use a DLF on attack even when he gets back. In terms of your play instructions, we've got a wing back on attack here with shoot less often, fewer, and the two central defenders are doing ball basis stuff. Kosterman is going to shoot less often and pass it shorter. We've got a DLP on support who's playing the Andre Pirlo role. DLP on support. He's going to be stringing passes left and right across the pitch. We've got Naby Keita, he has CM on support. We close down more, dribble less, and shoot less often. We've got Danilo here, who's attacking this space, trying to control, no, rather Danilo is actually playing here, but we're going to have Havertz in this position, getting further forward, roam from position more direct, close down much more. We also have Imbula here. Your midfield combination for this tactic will actually be Havertz, Fuchs actually, and Danilo would be playing if he's not suspended, right? But in our match against Rapid Vienna, he was actually suspended, so we had to play with Fuchs here. And in the middle here, we had a player by the name of Kai Havertz who was playing here. Up top, we had a combination of Forsberg and Werner, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't have Forsberg and Werner. We actually used the striker by the name of Sanabria, who's not injured. So we use this combination up top, Sanabria and Werner. So these are the players for your 4-1-3-2. In your 4-3-3 wide, it will be Forsberg on the left, and we will be using Ostunali on the right. So Forsberg will be playing as well on the left and right, and we've got no Havertz. We'll be playing with Keita, Danilo, Imbula. This will be your 4-3-3 team that lines up for you whenever you play. In terms of shots for the 4-1-3-2, relatively simple. We play wide, pass it into space. There are times when we use it, there are times when we don't use it. Pass into space is a shot that you can use when teams are attacking you, right? So you're back defending and you need to get your players away. Now, it's not necessary to use that shot when you are camping. So we have to take the approach against different teams. What do we do? If I'm camping against a team, then most likely I'll play with the offside trap, roam from positions, and put ball into box. If I have teams that are attacking me and I reckon that we can attack them behind the lines because they're pretty high up the pitch, then I go pass into space. So basically, these are the only shots. Control and flexible. I'll go with a safer team shape like flexible. I mean, honestly, any shape. You can use any shape in the game, but you have to understand how shape plays in your tactic. For the 4-1-3-2, you can use flexible, you can use fluid, or you can go structured. But this just generally influences how your mentalities and your risk get distributed. Well, against Werder Bremen, we were totally dominant. There was very little that they could do against us. We dominated the game for large stretches, and when they tried to launch their own attacks, our players were in such good positions that we could put a lot of pressure. One of the reasons why we were able to do that was with that prevent short goalkeeper distribution shout. Whenever they moved the ball up the pitch, Keita, playing as a ball-winning midfielder on support, had a fantastic time winning the ball down the left flank, giving us some security with Valenzuela, who can't really attack. And, unfortunately for them, Keita was on song. This carved them open, Keita striking from range and giving us the first lead, giving us the lead. We had 63% possession in this game. There was a lot of possession for a tactic that I never planned on camping, but it was so good, it was so solid defensively that Bremen couldn't come out and attack us, even though they played at home. We were able to control all the half spaces. We did very well with our possession, and then their keeper allowed a ball to go through his legs for our second goal of the match. We beat table toppers Bremen comfortably in this match 2-0. Second match, we used the 4-1-3-2. Now here, the way I control half spaces is slightly different. This is a more attacking setup for our tactic. We managed to beat SK Rapid Wien 3-1. It should have been 4 or 5-1. Easily, we missed two very easy clear-cut chances that should have been put into the back of the net. As your strikers get better, they should get stronger. We made the good move of leaving Valenzuela as a more attacking wing-back because we know he's not 100% defensively. We cater on the left flank. It's a fairly solid combination. Keita scored us our first goal. Keita is very, very good as a ball-winning midfielder on support. I mean, when he gets into the final third and he helps with the ball retention and he puts himself in positions to score, Keita is good. So I mean, I can't wait to see how he plays for Liverpool next season. Havertz, there's a lot of one-touch passing in your players as a player trait, and we use that with great effect in the final third too. The final score of this match was 3-1. So I'm pretty happy with how the boys have performed with your tactic. Now, if we've covered the tactics, and we'll be covering more in the show in the hot seat, where I will show you what we did in the match to give ourselves the options that we need when we want to defend and attack, when we want to convert our tactic. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Game Changer. If you have any questions, you know to find me. You can always look me up on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com, my website. Once again, I'd like to thank all my patrons for their continued support of this channel. You guys take care, have a good one, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.